Hi, we are back with Forbidden Grief and looking at what is really up for Dolores today. So, hi, Dolores Garcia, Miguel's
Good
mom.
morning. Good morning, Sue. It's good to be here with you.
How are you today?
I'm struggling a little bit. I came up here to the library to make this recording and got pulled over.
Oh, no.
He didn't give me a ticket. He just gave me a warning, and I was like, okay, well, that must be a sign from the universe that I need to slow down. I need to pay attention, or that the universe is watching over me and keeping me safe. Because maybe him pulling me over helped me avoid an accident that I have no idea about. So
Exactly.
yeah, so that was a cute little experience this morning.
Well, way to reframe it. That was really fast. We got to all witness your process in action.
I did say some colorful words when I saw the lights come on behind me. I was like, oh shit.
Well, glad you made it here safely and you didn't get a ticket and you got
No,
slowed down. So you arrived in divine perfect timing.
that's right.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So, something you were saying is really up in your space today.
Yeah. So really, this is actually a topic that I have struggled with, that has challenged me for quite some time, and how to hear people's opinions and be able to um, file them or navigate through them, and also dealing with gossip. And those are opinions, and gossip are things that I have really been revisiting over the last, I'm going to say lifetime, because they've always triggered me. So now, given the event, and there's so much for people to have opinion about and to gossip about, I'm finding that I don't want to talk to people. I don't, well, mostly I don't want to listen to them. I just don't even want to listen to them. So it's causing some turbulence in my space.
Yeah. And for those of you who are joining us for the first time, the event that Dolores was talking about, do you want to give them a quick synopsis?
Sure. On the 4th of July, 2022, my son, Miguel, fatally wounded his father while his dad was sleeping, and then broke into a neighbor's house and was fatally shot by the neighbor in self-defense. So on the 4th of July, my family experienced a double homicide of family members, and has created a very different lifescape for me.
Thank you. So, obviously, those of you who heard that know how much there is to have an opinion about and gossip about and speculate about and try to make sense of. I mean, it's not that people are necessarily doing this maliciously. They really want to understand. I know we talked about that last time. And this is incomprehensible. We can talk about what higher perspective says, what the angels have shared, but at human ground level, this is an inconceivable event, a really dramatic unfolding for a lot of
Yes.
people.
Yes.
So, do you want to talk? Where do you want to start with this? What do you want to play with first?
I'm finding, I was journaling about this, that there is a difference. There feels like a difference between what I post publicly. Like when I post things publicly, like I'm ready for it, and I'm um, willingly participating, as compared to the gossip is very public, and sometimes I'm not ready for it. I'm not ready to talk about it. I feel paranoid Like, I don't want to talk to people like one-on-one because I'm paranoid that they're going to turn around. Well, first of all, they develop their opinions. Anything that comes out of my mouth, they're going to develop their opinions on it through their own filters. And that triggers me. And then they're going to turn around and blab their mouth about what they interpreted I said and whether I really said it or not. And so it feels like I'm without defense. I can't defend myself. I can't correct them. And it's the whole web of gossip that is really causing me a problem. So, like, if I posted something and then somebody goes and tells somebody else about it, like, I feel okay about that because I posted it. But if I'm talking to you one-on-one, and mainly, Sue, you know what it is that I'm talking to you and I'm saying this to you, and I am implying confidentiality. And then you go and tell your best friend, and they tell their best friend, and and it just goes on and on. It feels very different.
Yes. Yes. So let's start to tease that apart. The first thing that the angels want to revisit is the idea of filters. So for those people who are watching who aren't sure what we mean by that, we mean that, as we go through life, we accumulate subconscious programming that says you're too much of this and not enough of that. So that colors your judgment of other people as you move forward, what's okay, what's acceptable, what's unacceptable. Also, we have lots and lots of different life experiences that tell us what the world is like. And the stories that we create around those life experiences really inform how we see the world. So two people can have the same experience and have a very different story about what happened. That's why when, the police interview eyewitnesses to a crime, they talk to 7 people, they get 7 different stories because we see the world through filters. Each of us sees a very different world from every other being on the planet. So when people hear your story, no matter how you share your story, you share your story in a way that feels comfortable to you, they hear it through their own filters. And so they respond to it from where they're coming from.
Right.
So obviously you can't control that. There's nothing we can do. Well, as coaches, there's a lot we can do to help people shift the way they receive reality, to release the filters that no longer serve them, to dissolve the stories that no longer serve them. But in casual conversation with somebody, that's not what's happening. So how do you be okay with they're going to take it however they're going to take it, and they're going to do with it whatever they're going to do with it, in a way that you don't feel silenced. You don't feel unable to talk to people because, feeling silenced was something that you lived with for a long time and overcame. So what's coming up in you?
Well, I laugh to myself that I just want them to stop gossiping about me, and that is unrealistic because I can't. I cannot. And so can the angels please take that desire out of my space, or that program that I can control my environment and I can control people. And if they loved me, they wouldn't do this. And there is really, it's a feeling of a loss of control, and trusting that I'll be okay no matter what they say. So I don't know. I think I want to become a duck. I want to become water on a duck, that they're going to gossip, they're going to have their opinions, and I'm okay.
Yeah. There's a famous Wayne Dyer quote, "What other people think of me is none of my business."
Yes. Yes.
And it is one of the secrets to walking through life in peace, right?
Yes.
But we're taught that we should try and control it. So there's where the disconnect happens. So the first thing the angels want to do is dissolve any programming in you and anybody who's ready to receive this that says that you should be able to control what other people hear when you speak, what other people do with what you say, and that we should be able to control whether or not people talk about us, right? That if we're the subject of gossip or not. And there's more nuance to that, so we'll come back to that. But first, we're just going to dissolve that belief system and that program that says we should be able to control this, because it's totally out of our control. We know that, but it's really stressful when we think we should be able to change it. So everything that is from this and all previous lifetimes, across all time, space, dimensions, and realities. Let's uncreate, delete, dissolve, and dissipate all of that programming and entrainment and enculturation that has us spinning in how do I fix this? How do I change this? How do I stop them? Whew, it makes us feel so, so vulnerable to what they are doing, whether it's well meaning. So the angels want to put into the equation that sometimes it's very well meaning. Sometimes they're sharing with somebody else what happened so that that person doesn't do something to trigger you, right? Or doesn't say something to upset you. They're just giving them the backstory so that that other person can be kind and compassionate instead of curious and triggering.
Mm-hmm.
So other people talking about you may not even be a bad thing, quote unquote.
Yeah.
It may actually be in the best and highest good. So starting to soften that story around what it means when other people talk about me. And we really have to bring up your childhood, right? Where you were taught not to talk to people about your dad's death. So from a very young age, just barely 4 years old, you were told not to tell people family secrets around this kind of stuff that's shameful.
Yeah.
The way somebody very close to you died. I mean, it could not be more similar.
Yeah.
So how does that, well, what's coming up around that?
What I feel is to step into a place of trust. I feel that space opening up, and always my brain says, okay, well then now what? And the now what is trusting that. And you're exactly right. Maybe there's some people that are malicious, and especially because of Miguel murdering Hector, is that there is some maliciousness or some deep pain there that might create some very ill intent based gossip and opinions. But for the most part, I do believe that people are affected by this and they're talking about it. And so if I can perhaps have some guidance to step into a place of trust that all is well with me and that the universe and the divine is coordinating everything for my highest and greatest good. So just having that blessing. Yeah.
Yeah. So a reminder from the angels for you and for everyone that they're always with us, that they always have our best interests at heart, right? That the angels are smoothing the way, creating the experiences of divine perfect timing, slowing you down for whatever reason that we may never know, so that you didn't rendezvous with something that you were not meant to rendezvous with. Yeah. And that the angels are guiding the hearts and minds of those around you too, and the mouths. And so that you're moving through the world and this experience can, crazy enough, right, be a blessing. So that this can be a reminder, like so many other tragedies, to love the people close to you, to let them know how much you love them, to value your time with them, to be mindful of who you speak to and how you speak to them, and how you show up for each other. Because, we've talked before about how some people come to you with compassion and don't even ask what happened. They let you share what you feel open to sharing. And some people come to you with curiosity. And, curiosity is one of each of our superpowers. Like, we can respect and appreciate curiosity. And sometimes people's curiosity is really triggering in this situation. And it's the energy that's tied into it too, right? Is it curious in a can't stop watching a train wreck kind of way, like want to hear all the gory details? Or is it curious in a how may I be a loving and kind and compassionate friend for you sort of way? Mm-hmm. So how we show up for each other every moment of every day makes a profound difference. A quick little angel PSA in there.
Yeah.
So how is it feeling now that people are talking about you? Are they talking about you or are they talking about Miguel? Like, do you have a sense of, or is it all tangled up together?
Yeah, it's all tangled up together. And I find myself, because I am the mom and my daughter is still very much here with me. And again, you know what, I appreciate this reminder that it 99.9% is based out of love. But um, they people's inquiry about her state of being, I find that I don't want to be guilty of gossiping about my daughter, because in my definition, gossip is talking about another person without them being there, without them knowing this, and it's really none of your business to be sharing that. Now, like if I was in a coaching situation with you and say I was struggling with something with my daughter, that is a coaching situation. That is a problem solving, solution oriented situation. Gossip is not. Gossip is just blabbing your lips to have something important to say. Oh, I have the insider information. And so I'm finding that I I don't like those questions about how is Alejandra doing? Well, why don't you ask her? And I'm struggling with how can I politely decline answering that question, because I don't want to be guilty of gossiping about my daughter. Does that make sense? That was kind of
It does
roundabout.
make sense. And
Yeah.
it's a beautiful conversation because like always you bring the best questions. So what if you could have a conversation with Alejandra and ask her, what would you like me to say when people ask me this question?
Mhm.
And then it's not at all gossiping, it's relaying exactly what she would like you to say.
Okay.
Does that feel lighter?
It does feel lighter, and uh, lighter in a sense that, yeah, it well, maybe heavier because I already know what she's going to tell him. She's going to say, tell him it's none of their business and to leave me alone. So
So
maybe I already know the answer, or maybe I really do need to ask her for clarification.
and so you can find an answer that feels comfortable in you as well and feels true and harmonious, right? Because we've talked so many times about what really matters is to find the harmony within your system with what you're saying. So when you're worrying about what you're saying and you're feeling like I'm gossiping about my daughter, it's, I'm speaking out of school about her behind her back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You can say things like she's doing as best as possible under the circumstances, which everybody would understand,
Mm-hmm.
which is general and vague. And does that feel accurate in your space?
Yes. Yes.
In those cases where you get a sense that she would love to connect with that person, you can say, I'm sure she would appreciate you reaching out to her. In those cases where you get a sense that she probably would not, um, just doesn't have the bandwidth or the emotional fortitude to deal with another person, you can say, I'll let her know that you were asking about her and I'm sure she'll really appreciate that.
That feels very good. That feels very good, because because she'll always say, what did you tell them? And I have to repeat the conversation back to her. And um, I don't want to keep secrets from this daughter of mine. I mean, she and I are in this together, and I don't want to create those obstacles or those trust issues. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And so isn't it interesting that she's going to ask you what the conversation was about. So she's very sensitive to what you're saying about her and what other
Mm-hmm.
people are saying about her. So
Yes.
beautiful that you're aware of that and you're honoring of that.
Yeah.
That's and Does that feel a little bit heavy, like responsibility, or like you have to, um, be good in some way or be careful?
Um, no, I think that it is my heart's desire to be that way because I haven't in the past. And so at this juncture and this experience, this is the time for me really to be discreet and respect that sacred relationship that I have with my daughter. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I was thinking about that, is that, am I triggered by the gossip and the opinions because I don't like that about myself, is that I've been guilty of gossiping and spouting my opinions to people that may not have been helpful and kind.
So did you notice you just got all choked up around that? So,
Yeah.
third chakra stuff is definitely about speaking your truth or not feeling able to speak your truth. And so can we do some self-love and self-compassion and self-grace around, I haven't always been 100% perfect human being, every moment of every single day, because I'm pretty sure that's true for all of us. Yeah, all of the ways that you're looking back over your life and judging yourself and shaming yourself for gossiping or sharing opinions or trying to impose your opinion on others. Let's just give ourselves grace and freedom from the past, allowing the future to be nothing like the past by disconnecting ourselves in this way. So the angels are disconnecting you from your past. I can feel waves and waves of goosebumps and creating space for a future unlike the past, a future that is more intentional, more present moment by moment, without the shame and the baggage of comparing today to yesterday. Because at the end of the day, all of this, all the work we do, is about allowing you to show up fully present in the moment and not get triggered by what's going on. So you're absolutely right that you're going to be a lot more triggered by something someone else does if you judge yourself for it. So if you judge yourself for gossiping or speculating or imposing your opinion on anyone else, of course that's going to be triggering. So let's pull that out of your space.
Yeah.
And allowing you to have the presence again to, in the moment, feel into, is there something to be said? Is it for me to say it, or am I meant to simply see it and know it and realize what's going on in the moment here? And so you can always be tuning in with your divine guidance. You can always be tuning in with the angels and asking, what's really going on here? Is there something for me to see and understand? Is there something for me to say or do? And a lot of times it's just for us to see and understand and anchor more deeply in ourselves and others, and there's nothing to say. And sometimes something that is divinely to say. And you've been following that so beautifully all along, right? When you had the opportunity to connect with the neighbors and you spontaneously hugged the wife. I mean, that was incredibly healing and incredibly divinely guided.
And thank you for bringing that up, because that was another challenge that I was facing. That I have my own opinions. Should I silence them, or is it for me to speak them? And as bothered as I am about other people's opinions, like, does that mean that I shouldn't ever speak my opinion? And I'm real challenged with that. So relying on intuition and inspiration of whether I should, it would serve the situation to share my opinion. And you know what? I actually have been noticing myself having an opinion, and then like I can choose not to share it, and that feels not like I'm silencing, but that I'm intentionally choosing to not share it.
And isn't that amazing how the experience is so different when you feel like you can't share it versus when you feel like, no, I'm not
Yeah,
going to share it.
yeah, yeah,
And from the outside, it looks the same. And so, a quick reminder to everybody, too, that we can't know what's going on inside everybody else. Like those of us who are very empathic can often feel the turbulence inside somebody else and what flavor of energy they're experiencing. But we don't know if
yeah,
they, have a background where they felt silenced. And so they're not speaking up because of that, or because they've consciously thought, is it mine to say something right now? No, it's not mine.
yeah,
So leaning into trust that each of us can show up in a way where we create a safe and sacred space for others to share what is meant to be shared, and for others to choose not to share when that is their choice or when that is their guidance. Uh, I also really want to acknowledge publicly how brave and vulnerable you are in doing this live series, and speaking about what happened and speaking about what you're dealing with in the wake of what happened. This is not easy stuff. And yet, everything that you're experiencing is the same stuff that we all experience on a regular basis, just heightened.
yeah,
It's like the volume's been turned way up on your experience.
yeah. And
And I don't mean to diminish what you're going through in any way by that, oh, we all have similar stuff.
oh
No,
no,
but
I there's really nothing that that has come up that wasn't part of regular life before the event, and it's just in a little different perspective now. But Sue, I can't. We have been positioned to do this, and I can't. I can't not do it. Um, Thinking about other moms who don't know that there is healing, and there is the sun shining behind the clouds, and not be able to share this experience with them. And I can't, and I've said it how many 100,000 times, I can't imagine having to go through this experience without the support of the angels and you as my coach. Um, no, I wouldn't be up and conscious. I wouldn't. And then all of the paperwork and the estate settlement and being present for my daughter. Like I would be a zombie. I wouldn't be here. So I don't want to leave any mom behind that might be going through such a complicated grief experience.
so we are inviting those moms to join us in Forbidden Grief,
Yeah.
and reminding you that the angels are always with you. You're never alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything else around people's opinions or gossip that is present for you now?
You know, the release of responsibility over their opinions and gossip, boy, that's a weight off my shoulder. Like I can't, I I can't even deal with it. I can't do anything about it. And to um, release the worry, and it felt like a responsibility to release that and to have that off my shoulder. Like, no, that feels very good because I
And
can't do anything about it anyway. So don't worry about it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And you can send them blessings. right? May what they share be in service to someone. May what they share be divinely perfect. May what they share be what the other person needed to hear.
Okay.
May what they share create a world more filled with love and compassion.
Okay.
Hmm.
Thank you.
I just got wave after wave of goosebumps.
Yeah.
And what an amazing opportunity. The angels are really jumping up and down with excitement over the idea that we can take something that's so painful to us and use it as an opportunity to ask them to bless, so to send a blessing out into the world,
Yeah.
to send our really heartfelt intentions for how we choose, the kind of world we choose to live in.
Because if I didn't transmute and transform this pain into love and a higher perspective understanding, it really would be that paralyzing. It would be disabling to me. And so to be able to turn that pain back into love, boy, that is saving.
Beautiful, beautiful. That feels like a perfect place to end for today.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Sue. Thank you, angels.
Oh, I love you so much.
I love you. Bye.